All right, guys, we're back here with Don in Yakima, Washington. How's it going, Don?
Real good.
How's your morning been?
Good so far.
What have you been up to today?
Hardly anything. Just kind of resting, trying to get some sleep.
Is this your spot right here where you've been sleeping at?
Well, for today, yeah, it's not really a spot that's mine. I just lie down wherever I can, whenever I can.
Do people? How long have you been here?
Several hours.
Yeah. And do the cops leave you alone, like when you're in this area?
Usually. No, they don't always.
Yeah. How long have you been homeless?
Long time. It was around 2010 or so when I ended up strung out with no cash at all, no way to make any money.
What happened?
No real short answer. Started out, I put my business aside, hoped to restart it, but I just basically shut it down to move from Tri-Cities to outside of Yakima to take care of my mom after my dad died. Then I had to clean up the property to keep her from losing the property because of the trash that my brother's tow business caused. And if it hadn't been cleaned up, then the county they put a lien on the property, and then they would come out and clean it up, and then if you didn't pay the bill in 30 days, they'd just take the property. That freaked my mom out, so I cleaned that up. Next thing I did, it took 4 years. And then when I got done doing that, she talked me into fixing my sister's house because the roof was caving in due to dry rot in the walls and the floor. I did that. That took all the rest of the money I had. Cost me about $27,000. And then after that, I was down to nothing. I had no money. So I was staying out on my mom's property. But then she decided to move to my sister's place in Boise. And she deeded over the property to my younger brother so he could live there because he didn't really have a place to live. I stayed there for a little while, but without any money. I couldn't eat, couldn't really do anything. So I basically was forced to come in here. At least gives you a way to get something to eat. So that's the way that went. That was around 2010, so it's been a while. And I ended up being disabled.
From what?
Huh?
What happened? From what?
Part of it was just overworking. I did so much hard work, kind of wore out some of my body parts. My hip, it had no cartilage. A couple of knees were in hell of bad shape with no cartilage really. And I busted up cartilage in one, and the other one kind of just wore thin till it was gone on one side, so I had problems like that. But then I got hit by a vehicle.
Dang.
And that's just not right the way the police officer responded to that.
How do you respond?
There's good police officers in Yakima, and there's ones that are just straight up bad. The bad ones are part of the whole homeless people hater movement that's in Yakima. And that's a legitimate comment right there. That's absolutely.
And what do you mean by that, sir, if you could elaborate?
There is a group of people that have an organized manner of working against homeless people.
Really?
They don't like homeless people.
Uh-huh.
They go out of their way to harass and cause problems for homeless people. They use homeless people as a way to make money.
Uh-huh.
And they're just not good.
How, in what ways have you seen that they take advantage of homeless people?
Well, the law does it by it's a cheap way that they harass us, and they set us up in kind of a revolving door situation where they try to get us hooked up in a probation type situation or DOC. And once you're in there, then they really be aggressive about following you around and watching for you to do anything wrong.
How do you stay motivated?
And then they just keep putting you in. And you're just in and out, back in again. You get back out, but then they come round you up and make you go back in. They make a lot of money doing that.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't leave us in a situation where we can improve, those of us that want to.
Mm-hmm. How do you try to stay motivated out here, stay positive?
Most of us don't. That's really hard to do. It's really hard to do when you have people working against you.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm able to do it, but I have to work hard at it. And mostly, I have to stay positive. I have to know what I'm worth. I have to think back on my
do you have
successes, and I have a lot of successes in my past. So I have to think back and remember them, you know, and build myself up. I have to fucking pray to God. I have to pray with real intent and really caring, you know. And then I have to have some goals, and I do all those things. As long as I believe that I'm on my way to somewhere, it's important and it's better, and I'm working on it, then I can stay positive.
What goals do you have right now?
Well, my main thing is to move to where my boy is living. I want to get back in his life in a way where he can have access to me, you know, be around me.
How many children do you have?
I only have 2 kids. And my daughter, that was a mistake marriage to a woman that really was just, I hope she was improved by now, or I hope she does improve someday. It's kind of a sad excuse for a person that the way she was. And she wouldn't let me see my daughter, even though I did have a proper judgment from the judge to see her. She wouldn't let me see her. She didn't care whether she was violating, you know, the judge's order. She didn't care. And so I spent a lot of money going to court over that. Yeah.
What kinds of things do you see out here in the streets?
Well, what I see that I don't like is those that can't handle the drugs that they do, or that they do too much. They do so much that they get out of control mentally. And they act weird. Usually they get manic. They usually yell a lot. You know, basically cuss, rant, and rave. And sound like they're, you know, and sometimes they make a lot of threats to people. And that I don't like. And
what kind of substances, if any, do you do?
Well, I was able to be homeless for a long time and not do anything. Stayed clean.
That's good.
Eventually I started smoking meth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I quit though.
Oh, okay.
Then I got hit by a car another time. But this one was going like 65 to 70 miles an hour. It was a miracle that I even survived.
For sure.
And I'm having pretty severe pain still, even though that was about 8 months ago or something that happened. It's going to take longer than that if I can heal up. To heal up, but it just don't happen that fast when you get crunched up that bad. I had so many.
How did you get hurt? Where did the majority of your damage happen?
It was 24 broken places in my rib cage.
Wow.
Clavicle had a piece of about 2.5, 3 inches long, broke completely out. You know, just, I had a little bit of a crushed skull, but not the whole skull, just a spot, you know, kind of broken. My heart was like bone went across it. It didn't contusion and go into it, but it kind of scraped it, I guess you'd say. Pushed on it real hard and caused it to bleed. So I had 3 internal bleeding areas when they came to get me. My heart was bleeding and a couple other areas around my intestine, my spleen. Had broken bone in my leg, my arm, and a lot of, like almost all my fingers had something with the tendons stretched, messed up. And they were, my hands were killing me, my feet too. Several areas that were just bleeding because they were, scraped or hit too hard. I had 2 broken vertebrae up in my neck area and 2 broken vertebrae in my lower back. It was pretty serious.
Do either one of your children come visit you?
Yeah.
That's good.
My boy comes whenever he can. He's so busy, hard-working kid, man. So I'm real proud of him. But I understand that he can't come a lot. He's made quite a bit of effort. Yeah, it really, that makes me have something to live for, you know. I'm living for my daughter too still, but I mean, it feels different, you know, when you're able to see and be with your child, you know.
For sure. Would you be okay with me doing a video in the future, sir? And would you be okay with me posting this on my YouTube channel?
That'd be all right with me.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.